Hello, if anyone's out there, how you doing? I'm getting everything set up. I hope you're doing well. I'm getting ready to add there it is pinned to the top of it. So whoever's out there, if they want to come up, come on up. Sorry for the mess on my bed. That's my clean sheets. I haven't got the pillowcases put on the pillows yet, or the top sheet spread out. But I wanted to get that done. Needed to do that before I go to bed tonight. So hey, Aileen, how you doing, Eileen? Aileen, thank you for coming. Hey, Charmaine, how you doing? I'm doing this one in honor of Edward Beck. He passed away last week. I found out just before the live stream last week that he had passed away. So, like I said, we want to remember people that we've lost. Like I said, we lost Leonard Lunn and Edward Beck now from my chats. Myself personally, I lost my father and both my brothers, some aunts and uncles, cousins. I remember them all. I miss them all. And any of you that lost someone that you were close to, you feel the same way. You remember them and you miss them. I'm sorry you're here. You're not feeling well, Charmaine. Please take care of yourself. Yeah, that's tea. I know it looks darker, but it's old tea. It's been in the refrigerator a while, so it's gotten darker. So anyway, oh, you're reading from Lorraine. Well, thank. When you go back, tell Lorraine thanks. I'm glad she's sending you guys as a raid. Has she had her monetary taken care of yet? Or do you know she having her celebration for being monetized yet? As you probably know, I sponsored when she does that. I sponsored it. Lorraine, hey, how you doing? Let me give you a. There you go. You're now a monitor. But as you can see on my thing, if you can read it, if you want to drop your channel link, just type in LLL, and my Nightbot will do it for you. And for some reason, my one phone dropped down and then I had to bring it back up. Yes, JLB, I bought this last year at the Filipino Festival in Albany. I'm looking forward to going again this year. The problem with it's only one day. So it was on a Saturday last year. Right now I'm working Saturdays, but it's my normal day off. I'm working because we're short-handed and I can use the extra money because I was working 40, then I dropped down to 25, then went to 35. Now I'm at 37 without Saturday. Saturday gives me a little overtime. So once we're back up to full staff, I'll be at 37 hours. So I'll lose a little over 3 hours. I'll lose about 3 hours pay from what I was making when I was at 40 hours. But that's all right. I still have weekends off. There's also a Filipino festival I found out too late last year to go to it in Schenectady, which is the neighboring county. As you guys would say in the Philippines, the neighboring province, they butt each other. So I want to find out when that is. It's in the spring or early summer, and I'm going to go to that one. I'll do some videos on it. I hope they have calamasi or whatever that lemon-like drink you guys have. I love that. I had that last year at the Albany one. It was the first time I had it. I only bought one glass of it. I regret that deeply. I may see how much a pitcher would cost. I really did like that. And then they had the ubi cake with flan. Oh, God, that was so good. I should have got 2 or 3 pieces of that. Maybe a whole cake. But then again, wouldn't have been good for my stomach. And I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but I've gained some weight back because last year. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man? You want to come up? Come on up. It's up at the top. But last summer, I started having trouble with my feet. I had trouble walking. I walked so many steps, which is not even a fourth, or not even a fifth of what I usually walk. Before I had started having trouble, my feet would start hurting. It's the arches. The arches in the middle of your foot. If any of you have arch support trouble, you know what I'm talking about. But I never had arch support trouble until last summer. And it was just, I take about 1,500 steps. That's 1,500 steps. And especially my right foot would just start aching. And so I was walking 10, 12, 13, 14,000 steps a day, sometimes even 20 or more, but usually around 12 to 15,000. That was my usual walking. Except for all my days off, I walk less. But I always try to walk, so I was doing good if I got 3,000 steps in. And so I was getting about a fourth of what I normally walk for the whole day. And it's like, well, thank you, Charmaine. I like my hat too. Like I said, I bought it at the Filipino Festival in Albany last year. I show the hat, not wearing it, but I show the hat sitting on the table in one of my videos for the Albany Festival. And I went back and bought it later. But I like the hat. So I thought, well, I want the hat. I'll go buy it. I'll wear it, especially on this vlog. I don't want to wear it out. This is not a winter hat. You can see all those holes. That's not very good for the winter. But it wears all right. I won't wear it in the rain. So if I go to one of the festivals that's kind of rainy that day, I will not wear the hat. But if I go to the festivals and it's sunny, I'll wear this hat probably. All right, hold on. I got to get Mike up here. He just popped in.
Hello. Hold on. It's going to echo.
All right, hold on. I got to get Mike up here. He just popped in. Yeah, what you gotta do is turn off YouTube and just be on. Just be on
the phone.
What I'm saying is yard stream.
Yep, I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. You haven't been in too many live streams, and everybody seems to be saying hi, Mike. Hey, Mike, married to a beautiful woman. How you doing, sir? Well, now, Mike, he happens to be a very good businessman. He wouldn't be a billionaire if he wasn't. He's not very likable, I'll give you that. But I voted for him. I'm going to tell you the truth, but I didn't vote for him because I like him. I voted for him because I think he'll do a better job than anybody else. Now, I could be wrong, but that's part of when you vote, you have to vote what you think. And so that's what I did. Like I said, I think he'll do a better job, especially better than Kamala. And that was my choices, was him or Kamala. I think he'll do a better job than what Biden did. I happen to know, Mike, that you're a liberal, which is fine. And we welcome all kinds here.
Yes, we do.
The right and the wrong.
Hey, Lorraine. Hey, Charmaine.
Mike's a nice guy. I mean, Mike married to a beautiful woman, is a nice guy. Even if we are on the different sides of the political spectrum. Now, I don't think Mike is far right, left. I hope he knows I'm not far right. Yeah, Mike, but he keeps making the money back. So, yeah, he's filed for bankruptcy a few times, but he keeps making the money back. And so, I've been in debt many times myself. Now, I never filed for bankruptcy, but I was far enough in debt a couple of times that I could have. But I chose to stay broke and pay it off. But I wasn't a businessman. I didn't have to worry about losing my businesses or my home or anything. Hey, Mertz, how you doing?
Hey,
Welcome.
how's it going?
And so, like I said, I was one time, Mike, about $25,000 in debt on a security guard's pay. This last time I was in debt on over 20,000 again. Now I've got all my bills paid off. I got money saved in the bank, but that's because I changed my way of thinking. I changed my way of doing things. But well, that's all right, Mike. You're never wrong, but you're never right. I'm always right and never wrong. But I know better than that. Yes, the Sinalogue. Now, Mertz, I think you know that I plan on landing in Cebu when I first moved to the Philippines. And did Jerry come in? Hey, Jerry, how you doing, man? I plan on moving to Cebu when I first get there. Now, I guarantee I won't go in until after the Sinalogue is over because it's hard to find a place, and usually they're overpriced for renting because they got it all rented out and they got all the people coming in for the Sinalogue. But I'll be there for the next Sinalogue. I'll come after one is over, and I'll be there for that one because I plan on staying there. My first year, I plan on staying in Cebu. Now that can change. Like the old saying is, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. You'll make God laugh, just tell him your plans. And so, like I said, my plan is to go to the Cebu first, stay there for about a year, and go around. And if I decide I'm not want to live there permanently, then I'll start going to other places to check them out. But I will still be, like I said, I want to be in Cebu for the Sinalogue. So that's why I said I'll probably stay there a year. But during that year, I may be gone for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, checking out some other city. So a place like Iloilo, Davao, a couple of places on Leyte, maybe up around Manila, not in Manila, but around that area. Because, like I said, I want a decent hospital, and I want the city to be large enough that it's entertaining, and I want some kind of entertainment outside of the city, like, I don't know, falls, mountains, Dumaguete, but Dumaguete, I think, is too probably overcrowded with foreigners, so that makes prices more expensive. And I don't want to say there's too many foreigners, but they drive the smaller the area, the more foreigners, the higher prices are going to get for rent because you're competing for the kind of places you want. You take Cebu, it's large enough that it can handle a lot more foreigners than what they have. I think a lot of their foreigners are actually from other places besides the U.S. and Canada. I think they have more from the Asian countries like South Korea and places like that. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been hearing. I hope to meet up with you, Mertz, when I'm in. I'll let you know when I'm going. I may not tell you until after I'm there. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I do know I don't want to do anything the first couple of days. When I first get there, I just want to relax and adjust to the time difference. That'll take 1 or 2 days. But I'll have a live stream probably. My first live stream in the Philippines, and this is how you'll know I'm there. I'll put up, it'll be guess where I'm at. So you see a live stream that says, guess where I'm at, you're going to know I'm in the Philippines somewhere, whether it's Cebu or Manila, because I may stop in Manila first. My plan is not to stop there, but I may change my mind. I do want to spend some time up in Manila to see a few things. And it's like, do I do that when I go in or do that after I get settled? I'm thinking towards settled. Like I said, after I get settled, I want to check out a few other places, so I'll probably do it during that time. Mert says she's going to hunt me down. Jerry, I've been to Luzon, which is where Manila's at. I was stationed. My ship was in Subic Bay for about 3 months when I was in the Navy. So there's some places I'd like to go check out Subic Bay again, but that's not high on my list of places to check out. But I do want to check out Iloilo. I do want to check out the Manila area. Some of you guys know Steve. I think his last name is Johnson. But anyway, he's was the Filipino expat info channel. He now does the Boston guy. It's a little different. He talks about whatever he wants, not just the Philippines. It's interesting. He's not too. He's about maybe an hour from Manila. So that area there. He's in Cavite province somewhere. Eddie and his wife Joyce. She's from Cavite. He told me what city, I just don't remember, but they're in the Cavite, one of the cities in Cavite province. So that's an area I would like to check out, especially if I decide I want to move somewhere different. I know they have some decent entertainment. For me, the decent entertainment is a really nice mall. Like I said, something to do in the nature whenever you decide you want it. And places you can go visit within a day. You can go there for the day and come back home. And then places that are not too far away that you can do a weekend. That's the kind of entertainment I want. Most of my entertainment when I get there will be day trips with occasional weekend or a long weekend, like 3 or 4 days. And then maybe once in a while, a longer trip. Now, like I said, if I decide I don't want to live in Cebu, I will take longer trips to check out some other places. Hey, Danny.
Hey,
How you doing, Dan?
Hey, Minnie.
And yeah, Jerry, you're gonna like her channel. She's and I saw you sponsored talks or something. Although she called you, I call South Texas Jerry. I call South Texas home. She used your old channel name. But she's got a video. I haven't seen it yet, but she's got a video up. Thanking you for. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll have to watch it. Hang on a minute. This is. Hello. Hello. Goodbye. That was a VA calling to verify something, which I called earlier and verified it.
Yeah,
I got an appointment with the dermatologist on Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I got a call and they hung up. It just rang once and they hung up. So I called the VA. It was the local VA, and he said that's probably what it was. He said, do you want to go ahead and verify it? I said, yeah, let's verify it so they don't bother me later. What do? They just bothered me even though I verified it already. Some people just don't pay attention. But yeah, it's something else. But like I said, I just by the way, folks, this Monday, my lovely mother, turns 99 years old.
Wow.
And like I said, that got me thinking about the people I've lost, and we lost, Edward Beck. We found out a little over a week ago. And some of you guys just found out a week ago. Today, I found out a day or so before. Edward Beck, who came up on my blog a lot as a guest panelist or whatever you want to call you guys. I call you a panelist, so it's a panel to me. And but it got me thinking. I lost my father when he was 61. My younger brother at 59, and my older brother at 37.
Wow.
And I lost a cousin at 20. So, I mean, you have to think about it, yeah, Jerry, Samantha, the lady that was living with him, she was using his phone. She got a hold of me, and she let me know that he had passed away that Thursday. And like I said, this was last week, so it's been a little over a week. And so she was going to try to come up last week, but she couldn't figure out how to do it. So I got a hold of her afterwards. I told her to have Junior help her. Junior would know how to get her up here. I can't walk somebody through how to do it if they've never done it. Junior helped his dad a lot when he had trouble. So, but I asked her how Junior was doing, and she said Junior was doing okay, but he was still kind of in shock. They were all still in shock. Like I said, I talked to her originally on Friday, and then again on Saturday. So it was a shock to me. I guess he got sick right after the first of the year, and I believe it was the 8th that he passed away on, if I remember right. And I found out on the 9th. Today's what, the 18th, right? Yeah, today's the 18th. So, like I said, I found out on the 9th. We had the live stream on the 10th, the 11th. So I found out on the 11th. He passed away on the 9th, but I didn't find out till the 9th or 11th. I think it was the 11th. I mean, the 10th, because of the simple fact that I was like she sent me a message and I didn't know what it was about, and I didn't recognize her name. I recognized Mac Daddy's pizza picture. Mac Daddy and I were connected on Facebook as well. That was through his Facebook account that she contacted me. She said she had his phone and was using it, and Jerry. First Leonard, and I mentioned at the start of it. I lost two of my chat panelists. Over First Leonard, and now Eddie Mac Daddy. So that was a big bummer for me. So Mac Daddy was a liberal, as most of you probably know, and I'm a conservative. But Mac Daddy and I got along quite well. Even though our politics didn't align, and but he was good people, and he was very knowledgeable. He was fun to have in the chat. Now sometimes he'd make me upset, but I made him upset too. I'm sure more than once, but we didn't take it personal. We could talk politics without taking it personal. That was a good thing. And like I said, we're going to miss Mac Daddy just like we miss Leonard. Feel sorry for the people in their lives, because they have people that they loved and who loved them. And some were here in the States, some were in the Philippines. So all of them, no matter where they're located at, our condolences go out to those who lost their loved one. And it's not just Mac Daddy and Leonard; it's anyone who lost a loved one. Remember, Trump used to be a Democrat, Mike. I know that. Yeah, but so anyway, like I said, we always stop and think about it. It may not be every day because the longer you go, maybe since they passed away. Like my dad's been over 40 years. My older brother's been over almost 40 years, not quite. And my younger brother, I hadn't been that long. That's about almost 10 years for my younger brother. And not quite. Let's see, how old was he now? When he passed away, I want to say, I think I said 59, but that was wrong. He wasn't that old. How old was he? Let's see. 56 or 57. I'd have to stop and figure it out. But I want to say about 56. My older brother was only 37. No, Dan, that's not till Monday, okay? That headline will be Monday, not today.
Yeah.
He says, felon takes the White House, news at 11. That'll be on Monday. He actually takes the White House. So, yeah. Right now I'm working 6 days a week. Now, not this next week because Monday's a holiday, so it'll be shut down. I started off at this new location. I was only going to be 25 hours. Before I even took my first official shift on that 25-hour shift, I was switched over to 35 hours. And right after I finished my first 35-hour week, I'm at 37 hours. One of the guys needs off at noon on Fridays. So they asked me if I wanted to come in at noon. That gives me an extra 2 hours. It's like I'm going to be there for anyway, so I might as well pick up another 2. And now this week I'm only getting 36 because Monday's a holiday. Otherwise, I'd have got 43 because Sunday's is an extra day. Another day I normally work on my schedule, but we're shorthanded, so I get to work some extra time. Which no. He's President Convict Donald J. Trump. Get it right, Mike. It's President 47, Convict Donald J. Trump. Let's get that right, okay? Remember, you don't have to respect. Hey, Crystal, how you doing?
Hey, Crystal.
Remember, Mike, we don't have to respect the man, but we have to respect the office. Yeah. Well, I just had a light. Well, it was heavy in starch, but light in food supper before I started this. I had mac and cheese for supper. Didn't have anything else. I didn't feel like fixing anything else. Mac and cheese is already. It was already fixed. All I had to do was nuke it, and so that's what I did.
Hey, Crystal.
Oh, Dan, I love it when you play that from her. Have you ever seen one of Dan's videos when he plays Crystal going, "Let it go"? Yeah, 90 more days for TikTok here in the States, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Remember now, that wasn't Trump. That was done before Trump. It might have been the conservatives. I think it was the conservatives that did it. But they're worried about TikTok's owned by China. It's Chinese. And they gather all this kind of information when they use it. And the Chinese control that information. And they're afraid that they may use it in nefarious ways. So they want them to sell TikTok, or at least the control of the information of TikTok, to an American. If they don't, then they're going to ban it. So that's what's going on there.
I never got on TikTok.
Yeah,
so
you're right, Crystal. Tell Dan, just let it go. Hey, Crystal, how's Mark doing? He hasn't been in for a while. That's her husband. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, hey, Betting, how you doing, Betting by Ren. But I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, at one time, I was well over $20,000 in debt. I got all that debt paid off, and I got some money in the bank. unless it's a major emergency. I can take care of a few minor ones. Maybe depends on what you call major. I can probably take care of a major. I can take care of a major car emergency. I can do that, but it depends on the kind of a major emergency you're talking about. But any minor emergency, even car, that's not a problem. I got the cash to cover that now. Viking, how you doing, sir? I'm doing quite well, sir. How you doing? So, my head itches. But yeah, like I said, we'll never forget the people that touched our lives, and sometimes we may not even remember their names because they was just a short period. But anyone that that touched our lives will remember. Mark Cuban. Dan says Mark gave $1 million for their inauguration. I think not Mark Cuban. I can tell you that him and Trump don't get along. A couple of billionaires that don't like each other, but there's a few of those though. Dan's got rigged and he's got 2 ants crawling. Yeah, Facebook and YouTube are banned in China. I mean, China bans things they don't like. And the ones they do let in, they control what information they can give out in their country. A lot of countries do that. America is one of the few countries that, pretty much lets things run rampant. One of the things I'd like to see the United States do is forbid foreign countries and foreign entities to own property here. Now, I'm not saying they can't start a business, but they can't own the property. And they should not be able to build near any classified or classified installations such as military and airports, not just but highly vulnerable to soft targets like the civilian airports. I don't think they should be able to buy farmland or even rent farmland. Farmland should stay in Americans' hands only. Now, and Lynn, I think I've seen you in a couple by me. And so there you go. We'll give you a monitor. We'll give you a blue jacket so you'll feel better. Keep you warm. But yeah, so Saturday's a little tough on me because I work till 9:30 Monday through Friday. And then, hey Ed, how you doing? My channel's Eddie. He came up last week. I think you were here, weren't you, when he came up? His wife came home while we were talking. But anyway, yeah, I don't trust Gates with that either, if you want to know the truth. He's not buying farmland to be a farmer. I just don't trust him. Unless he's trying to manipulate the price of groceries somehow in his favor. I don't trust Gates. I'm not a fan of big farms anyway. And I like the family farmer who owns a few thousand acres. And I'm talking about a family farmer that lives just off his farm. I know some family farmers that had to work another job, but they still farm because that was what they did. And they worked a full-time job to make everything work. And those guys are hard, dedicated farmers. So yeah, I think they ought to be helped out. The one guy I knew, he had 30 years in a factory and had been farming the whole time. I don't know how many hundreds of acres, but he'd get off work. And, well, actually, take that back. He got up, did his work, then came into his job. He did his farming. Now his son that was old enough later on to help him, but it was him doing it, and then his son started helping. But his son had gone in the Navy and did the Navy for so many years. When he got out, that's when he started helping his dad. But so that was the last few years that I know him. You're probably right, Mike, about Bus. But I trust him more than Gates.
Yeah.
But that may be because I think he's a little more conservative than Gates. I don't think he's a true conservative either. But he was a darling of the left until he started supporting Trump a little bit, and then he became the devil. Jerry, if you provide a lot of jobs and a lot of tourist industry, if you help support it by SpaceX, actually has a lot of tourists probably going down to see it. Then all the people that live there that work for it, that has a tendency to make you popular in that country, in that part of the country, or that part of the state at least. AOC, I don't know how she retained her popularity when she turned down Amazon in her area that she represents in New York, which would have been very good paying jobs for that area, and she kept them out of there. I know if I lived in that area and she did that, I would vote her out so quick. Because I mean that compared to what the jobs down there, that was supposed to be a very good paying job down there, and it was going to be thousands of jobs. So yeah, I think the Gates Foundation, I think it's his wife that does that gives most of that money away, and they've since got divorced. But she took a lot of his money and gives a lot of that away. She gives more money away than he does. She runs the Gates Foundation. Yeah, but so anyway, it just. Oh, she resigned? I didn't know she resigned. Well, I don't know about that, Jerry, but there are some very smart Indians. You're going to have to admit that. I don't think that would be on the average. I could be wrong, but you got to remember Elon himself is a immigrant, so he may be thinking that way because the smarter immigrants try to move to the United States legally so they can work and make money. It's like the Chinese are considered very intelligent as well, and many of them are. But there's a lot of them that are not. So the stereotypical Asian is supposed to be very smart, very mathematical, and that's a stereotype. Many of them are, but a lot of them are that way because their parents push education, even in the States. And in China, because like I said, remember now I have friends that are Chinese that came from China. I even know some people still living in China that are Chinese. The parents push their kids to get an education, and they really put a lot of pressure on the kids to do well in school. Now, some kids that don't live up to the expectations end up committing suicide. from over. It's too much pressure for them. A lot of times they will throw big parties if their kid gets into one of the best schools because of their education. His mom is now Mike. His mom might be Canadian, but she likes Trump. She doesn't like the Democrats. And I think that's because they started giving her son a hard time. That could be one of the reasons why she doesn't like the Democrats. But yeah, she lambasted them a little bit. No, Canada doesn't claim Musk. At least not the liberal Canadians. And yeah, and that's all right, Mike. That just means he can never be president. To be president, you have to be a native-born American.
What about Obama?
Obama supposedly was born in either Illinois or Ohio. I mean, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Now, but that's what they claim. I can't, you know. I don't know if they want to fire them, but they want to either come back to work or no longer work for the government. They will. And I'm going to tell you something, Mike. We are over bloated, if you ask me, with federal employees. I don't know if we're that over bloated, but we have agencies that should not even exist. There are agencies that were started, and when the problem was taken care of, whether it was cured or whatever, whenever it was finished, instead of disbanding that agency, they just said, "Oh, we're going to do this now." And they take some. It's like here in New York State, the Thruway Authority was created for the Thruway 90, and it was only supposed to last so many years. Well, it's well beyond those years, and they've now taken over the Erie Canal. They've expanded their existence so they can stay in existence, and created more jobs, and still charge you. The Thruway was supposed to be no longer collecting tolls after so long, and they're still collecting tolls. So no, don't get me on the government. Smaller government I think is better, but I do believe in a strong government. I just believe in a smaller government. I do believe there are certain things that the government has to take care of. Yeah, some of them they'll probably deserve a golden shower, Dan. Just give them a golden handshake, not a golden shower. But yeah. Well, then you know what? The ones that retire, don't replace them. Let them retire. Do not replace them. They've done that with other kinds of jobs. It's like, all right, we got all these people retiring. We want to downsize. So when they retire, that's it. We're not hiring somebody to take their place. We're downsizing. I've seen businesses do this where they'll offer early retirement to people that are close, and they bridge them, say it's worth giving them this money to get out of here, and we're never going to replace them. So, that's what you do. You say, all right, let's say you got 2 years to go. I come in and say, it's worth me getting rid of you right now. I'll give you that 2 years. You've got the 2 years. Your retirement's good. Hit the road, Jack, and we're not going to replace you. You've got your retirement, your full benefits at whatever it is, 20, 30 years, whatever it is. Bye-bye. See you. Don't come back. And don't replace them. Because we do have way too many people working for the U.S. government. Mike, let's put it this way. They don't have money for pensions. They don't have the money to pay the people. Because their pension is less money than what they make working. So if you can't pay their pension, then you can't pay their salary. So what are you going to do? That sounds like a dang if you do and dang if you don't. Yeah, that's what I said. Get rid of them. Offer them their early retirement. Here's your retirement. Right now, which this is going to help Dan. Right now, they're offering an increase in Social Security to government workers who were not getting their full Social Security because they got a government retirement. Now they're saying, no, that's not right. We're going to give them the full thing. I'm not saying that's wrong. Don't take this wrong here. But what I am saying is, how are they going to fund it? Social Security's already in trouble. They need to figure that out too. Because, hey, if I paid into Social Security, I'd want the money. So I don't blame the people that getting the increase in their Social Security. I don't blame them a bit. But they need to figure out how they're going to keep Social Security solvent. That needs to be done. Because like I said, I'm retired. Y'all know that. I'm still working, but I'm retired. I don't want my Social Security cut. I want to quit working and move somewhere where I can live. Yeah, like I said, I worked at a couple companies. That's what they did, the downsize. The ones that were close, they either gave them an early retirement or they bought them out. It was your choice. And got rid of them. Kodak did that to my brother-in-law. He was 58 and a half, I believe, or 58 to 59, somewhere there. I want to say 58 and a half. So he couldn't touch his 401k until he hit 59 and a half. And they said, here, you can take this is your retirement. You can take this amount and you'll have that till you die, or you can take this amount, which was less. And when you die, your wife will get the same amount, or you can take your money and roll it out. And you get the full amount now. And that's what he did. He took the full amount, put it in a fund where he couldn't touch it till he was 59, because otherwise he'd had to pay a huge penalty in tax. But they also bought him out. And he could have took so much money a month until it was over with, but he took less than that so he could spread that money out till he hit 59 and a half and could touch his retirement. Now, he still wasn't as well off as what he was when he was working until he hit 62. When he hit 62, him and my sister both hit 62 the same year. Their house was paid for, so that cleared up a huge amount of money. And then they both got their Social Security on top of their retirements. My sister worked as well. She was a school teacher, and then she did some other jobs. She was a teacher the whole time, but it wasn't always for the school system. She worked in a prison as a teacher for female prison. She worked teaching kids how to get their GED, teaching them the information they needed. She did all kinds of teaching jobs and paid into her Social Security that way. And then, like I said, she got her Social Security, and he got his, and the house was paid for, and they live a pretty decent life right now. You take my little sister; she retired at 55. 401k is a retirement plan. You put money into it. Many companies match them out or match up to so much money, and it's a retirement fund. It's not taxed; it's taken right out of your income, put directly into a 401k, and it's never taxed. The only time it's taxed is if you touch it before you're 59 and a half. Then there's a huge penalty for touching it. So it's a self not earned, finance is the term I'm looking for. Self-finance retirement. Like I said, many businesses will match up to like 10 or 15%. Some like you put in 5, they'll put in 10. It all depends on the company. The better companies, you had a better deal. But it's a retirement plan that you pay into, and the companies don't have to pay anything into it, but some companies, many of the companies, the better companies do. The company I worked for didn't. I didn't put any back in it. I should have, but I didn't do it because I wasn't planning on doing this job as long as I'm doing it. And when I first heard of it, I didn't know you could take it with you. I thought it was just strictly as you're working with that company. But a 401k transfers from company to company, it's yours. So as long as you don't touch it, that money just stays there and grows. But you got to be putting money into it because the money managers, as you well know, will charge you money for handling it. So if you're not putting money into it, you may lose money because the fees may outgrow your gains. So the more money you put in, the more fees, less fees will turn into your gains. What's CPP? Mike, what is CPP? Mike, did you know Social Security is socialism? We have Social Security, but did you know that's socialism? That grew out of the union. Unions were socialists. When they first started, they were socialists. Did you know that? I mean, we can go back in history. I know all that. Canadian pension plan. That's the same thing with Social Security. It was a socialist ideal, put forth by the unions back in the early 1900s. I mean, this goes way back, and early to mid 1900s. But you put in so much money, the employer had to put in so much money. Then when you got to a certain age, which was 62, you could take your Social Security and retire. Now, you got some people want to say, oh, it was never meant to be a retirement plan. Bullshit. Excuse my French. Probably hear on language. BS. It was meant to be a retirement plan. It was meant to be enough money that the average working man, if he couldn't save any more money, would be able to retire on Social Security. That's what it was meant to be. Now, this you may not know. Back in the 60s, Social Security was so well off that the government decided they were going to go ahead and take some of the money and pay welfare. Hey, Charmaine, thanks for coming. Charmaine 2's here. She's coming from an ABCM raid, but that's how welfare and all that, and they started. You have Medicaid, Medicare. Well, one was for the seniors, which was part of the plan. The other was for people that are disabled. I'm not saying they don't deserve the money. If they're disabled, they do. I got a sister that's got MS. I had an uncle that was paralyzed from his chest down. My younger brother went on hospice because he was diagnosed with 4-stage cancer or more. So he was able to get his Social Security before he died. He was only in his 50s. So I'm all for those that can't work because of a physical or mental disability of some kind being helped. I'm all for that. But what they did was they created what we call a welfare state, which is the wrong thing. A woman could only get welfare if she was not living with her husband. So it broke up more black families than it did whites, but it broke up families of both race, because if the woman wanted help with her kids and stuff because they didn't have the money, her husband had to move out. Even though they may be in love and trying to make it work, he couldn't be there for her to get the help that they needed. Now, some of them stuck around anyway, but it ended up breaking up the black family a lot more than it did the white family. And well, Dan, you know good well, most hospitals here in the United States, if you go in there, even if you don't have the insurance, they have to treat you. They don't like it, but they have to treat you. They will try to charge you and get the money. So it's not free, but they have to treat you whether you have insurance or not. In a life or death situation, they have to treat you. They have no choice. That's the law. whether you know it or not. That's the law. Now, like I said, yep, that's the law. Now, like I said, I'm not saying everybody follows the law. Some of these hospitals will transport you to these private hospitals will transfer you to a public hospital as soon as they can, so they don't lose any more money than necessary. In other words, if you're dying, they'll stabilize you, then transfer you. All right, he's stable. Here you go. He's yours. Take care of him. I guess that's not breaking the law. Might be skirting the letter, bending the letter of the law or whatever. But yeah, here in the United States, yeah, but you can file for bankruptcy if it's too much. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize you didn't have a monitor. Let me give you a monitor. I did not realize that. Thank you for coming in. But so yeah, like I said, I'm all for public health care. Like I said, I'm a liberal conservative. But yeah, but Mike, part of our problem is even though we're the richest country, we pay for so many other countries, other stuff. Who do you think supports NATO that gives more money than probably the rest of the NATO combined? Who's always sending, even to our enemies, we send money. Yeah, it's the capitalist way. We are a capitalist country. That's why I think a lot of people hate Social Security because it's a socialist ideal. Mike, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, well, I just lost your picture. That's all right. No, it's okay if you want to go down. I mean, you can take your picture down, but
let me do that. My daughter's texting me.
Okay. All right, come back up when you get done.
I'm just going to put that on. I think that'll stay.
All right, there you
on.
go. That'll work. Well, somebody probably stole your information, Mike. That was probably identity theft. That's not the hospital in Florida's fault if that's what happened. Somebody probably stole your identity and used it to get in there. And I'm not going to say that's an illegal alien. That could be an American, flat out. There's people from everywhere that's going to steal your identity if they get the chance and rip other people off. I had somebody get my one of my bank card information. They couldn't rip me off of all the money because my bank wouldn't let them do it. But they wanted me to, and I did it. I did a video on this a while back. I'm going back. I'm driving up to my sister's up in New York, up in Elba, on my way back to Terre Haute. And I get a call just as I'm leaving home here in Waterville. And I have Bluetooth on my car, so I answered the phone. And the guy had enough information that I thought he was calling me from PayPal. And he was saying, well, that somebody tried to charge us money here at, I want to say, Tennessee or somewhere. It's like, I'm not there. That's not me. Well, they wanted to verify a couple things. And I mean, they had enough information. They sounded like they knew what they were talking about. Where they made the mistake, when I signed up for PayPal the first time, I only had to put $10 in there to prove that was an illegal account. Well, they asked me to put in almost all my savings account and the checking account, but well over. Like I said, I was still poor boy at this time. It was still over $1,000 that I had in that account. And they wanted me to put it on my PayPal account, according to them. And That's like, well, that's a little strange. And it's like, I'm not sure I'm going to do this. I didn't tell him that. I'm thinking that to myself. And they said, oh, by the way, when you call the bank, don't tell them what's going on. We're just doing a check here. So that clinched it. I knew they were frauds. I knew right then. I said, okay, no problem. I'll do that right away. So I hung up. I called my bank and told them exactly what was going on. I got somebody. Sorry, I gave them this information. So I need to freeze that account. They're trying to get my money. So they didn't have my bank account. They did not have that. They just had the card number. So I was able to freeze the card. And they asked me about a couple of charges. There was 2 charges I didn't make. They were both food deliveries, Grubhub and the other one. I'm not sure what it was, but it was Grubhub and something. And it was like, I think, a total of $50. I was willing to pay that, but they said, "Oh no, you reported it. But that's not going to be. We'll take care of that. That's not going to be on you." They asked me about this other one, which was a couple $100. I said, "No, that's my charge. That one's me." They said, "Okay, we'll go ahead and pay that." And they said, so they froze the card and mailed me a new one. So that threw a lot of my bills off because I had a lot of direct payments. And I used my card, not my bank account, for my direct payments, unless it's from bank to bank. If it's from bank to bank, then I use bank to bank direct payments. So anyway, I got that taken care of. But like I said, then a month or so later, I get a letter from the Social Security telling me that they were granting my request to change my bank information on my direct deposit for my Social Security. And I'm looking at this thinking, is this a hoax? So I looked up the local Social Security number, which turned out that's what it was on the thing. But like I said, I was making sure it wasn't somebody else trying to rip me off by saying somebody's trying to rip me off, which is what the guy from supposedly from PayPal was saying. So I thought, are they trying the same, ruse again? So I called the Social Security office and I told them, I said, no, I did not do that. I do not want my checking account information changed. And so they stopped it. They said, you're lucky. And I said, why is that? They said, usually most people don't, when we send them the notice, tell them about it, they don't pay attention to it. They just toss it aside, thinking it's useless information until they lose a check or two. I hadn't even lost a check. I mean, it was still another week or two before my check was to be deposited. If I waited a week, 2 at the most, I'd have lost a check. So I put a freeze on where nobody can go online and hack into my account and change it. They can't do it by phone. They have to go into the office with a state or federal ID with picture to prove they are me to change my banking account with Social Security. And because I had an account online, so somebody hacked into that account and tried to change my Social Security account to have a direct deposit into an account that they control. And I guess the Social Security, the way they were talking, that happens quite a bit. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to get your Social Security, put up some double blind stuff. I would, like I said, I would make it where they have to go in and show ID, picture ID, state or federal, like a passport, to change any information. And that's what I done. I've had no trouble since. I get all my check-ins every month. My check was this past Wednesday. It was there. So like I said, it's something you really got to check out. You really got to be careful because there's people out there. I don't care what country they're from. There's people from the United States. There's people from Canada, people from the Philippines, China, any country you want to look at. There's somebody in that country more than willing to rip you off if they get the chance. And they'll do it by hook or by crook. And so Dan knows that. He had somebody try to double bill him for something. And we won't go into that. That's Dan's story. But yeah, always pay attention to that stuff. like I said, I was driving, so I was half listening. Hello, Madeline. How you doing,
Hey,
Madeline?
man.
Welcome, welcome. Mike says here in Canada, for his pension, there is a two-tier. One is a call on phone on foul. What's the other tier there, Mike? Email or password or what? All my stuff has got password protection, but not all of it is, I guess, is safe because I used to not use. They say you should have, I want to say 13 characters, count number. There should be small letters, capital letters, and symbols. There should be like 13 characters long, your password or more, or 11 at least. But the longer your password, the harder it is for them to crack. And I use numbers, letters, symbols, uh, all of it. And all mine are like 14 or more. Uh, most of mine are 14 or more. So they. That happens everywhere, Mike. There are honest people as well. Uh, there, there are honest people. I had a wallet that I'm going to say was stolen when I was in the Navy, but I got the wallet back minus a couple of things. But I was surprised my ID was still in it because military ID. I was in Japan, Yokosuka, Japan. It was worth a lot of money, from my understanding. But somebody, there was a condom and some. I think there was some cash, and that's all that was missing. I mean, like I said, I got my military ID, although I had a replacement made. So when I got the other one, I had to turn it in. You can't have two. Legally, you can't have two. So, but I got my wallet back with everything, all the pictures and everything. But that was a week or so later, almost 2 weeks later. I think it was 2 weeks later. It was just I got it back just after Christmas. I lost it before Christmas. Might have been after New Year's even. But I wanted to go out partying one night off base. Now I could go anywhere I wanted on base without my ID, but I couldn't go off base. That was cool of them, Mike. Like I said, there are some honest people. That's a good thing. I think there's probably a little more honest people up in Canada. I could be wrong. That may be my nationality prejudice. Hey, Maris, we seem to think that Canadians are more polite and kinder than Americans. We're a little more gruff and rough and abrasive, is the way to say it. So, like I said, that would tend to make you think that Canadians are a little more honest or a little more considerate. So I'll give you that, Mike. Overall, but like I said, there's many honest and considerate people everywhere. I'm just going to say, on average, there's probably more per 100 people in Canada than the United States. There's probably more people in the United States would say, "I found it. It's mine." You know, and all I got to do is turn it in and say, "Well, there was nobody in it when I found it." You know, I'm sorry, that's all I found. There was nobody. Somebody else found it and took the money and tossed it aside. Yeah, like I said, that there's a lot of places you wouldn't get it back. Uh, but yeah, it's man, I'm plugging up. I had taken my allergy medicine a couple of days. I'm gonna have to start taking it again. But so yeah, it's just something I wanted to think about, like the people we lost. Thinking about my mother's birthday, I know I'm going to be losing her someday soon. Uh, she'll tell you she doesn't want to live to be 100, and I understand it. She's living in a nursing home. She used to live with two of my sisters, and it got to where she needed somebody there who was a nurse full time, and we can't afford that. She was falling too much. She's got dementia, slight case of dementia. So it just wasn't something we could do. So it was something we had to make the decision. It was a tough decision. And then shortly after she goes in there, COVID happens, the pandemic. Because when she first went in, I don't think she minded it too much because at least every other day somebody was coming by to visit, if not every day. Like I said, I had 3 sisters and a niece who had a great daughter. So they'd all take turns going in to visit. I'd have cousins, or matter of fact, at that time, I think her sister, I think, was still alive. And she'd go in and visit once in a while, not very often because she wasn't in great health. So, she was getting a lot of visits, and they would take her out once in a while to do things. But as she progressed, she's gotten worse. And then, like I said, during the pandemic, you couldn't even go in and see her. They wouldn't even let you go. And then later on, you could go to the window, but you couldn't really touch her, or really hard to talk. You go to the window and wave at them. That was it for a long time during the pandemic. And so that had to play on her psyche, on her mentally, had to play on her mentally, make things tougher. Yeah. And so, like I said, she'll tell you she doesn't want to live to be 100. I told her, well, Bob, that's up to the good Lord. And she goes, I know, but I hope he knows I don't want to live to be 100. Abby G, hello. And so those are things that, like I said, closer we get to Bob's birthday, which is Monday, the more I think about it. I'd love to go back home and visit her, but right now, if I go back home with the way the weather's going, I'd get stuck, or either at home or stuck trying to make it back somewhere. And now next year, if she's still alive and she hits 100, I don't care. I'm going to go home for that. If I get stuck back there, so be it. But unless I can't get out to go there, that could happen. Like I said, you want to make, hey, ABCM, how you doing? You want, like I said earlier, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Oh yeah, as everything's going now, when you tell somebody, said, oh yeah, hold my beer. God was like, hold my beer. All right, it's changed that quick. Here, boom, it's done. Your plans have just been changed. But
ABCM.
Yeah. We got Lorraine's in again. But Abby says it's nice to see you on the panel there, Mike.
Oh, thank you.
If you saw that, Abby G said.
Yes. Good to see you in chat.
A lot of these people know who you are, but not everybody have seen you.
Abby knows who I am.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, some of the people may not. Hey, Laddie B, how you doing? I didn't see you come in. I know, there's some places that people may not see you because they only see you in that chat. And if they happen to pop in here, now they know what you look like. Because some of those people don't even pop in here very often with me. But some of these, like I said, I gave some of these, a couple people, 2 or 3 people tonight, a monitor badge, the blue jacket.
Oh,
That's what means they've only been here once or twice before. So they probably don't even know what I look like that well, outside the picture that shows up, by your name. And they may know my voice because of my videos, but I don't always show my face on my videos. Most of the time I don't. I mean, come on, I'm ugly. I don't want to. I don't want to scare people off. Like that bed, it's unmade. I haven't got the sheets. I got the sheet top, the bed sheet on, but I haven't put the pillowcases on the pillows, and I haven't put the top sheet on yet. But I had to get that changed. I'm going to try to do my laundry tomorrow. But even if I don't, I'll do it Monday. But I had to get that changed. And I just didn't feel like finishing it off today. Like I said, I got maybe, if I'm lucky, 6 hours sleep last night, if I'm lucky.
What happened?
Well, I got off at 9:30. I can't go straight to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get up at 6, because I had to be at work at 8:30. So I had to get up, get cleaned up, then go by the gas station, buy my breakfast, a cup of coffee, then drive to work in time that I can eat it before I start work, and then start work. Now, Saturday, once I get there, is an easy day, unless something goes wrong. All right. As I've told everybody, I'm a security officer. Well, on Saturday, I'm sitting in front of 3 computer screens, one computer with 3 screens. One shows all the cameras that are up. I'm not there so much for the cameras. Another one shows where everybody swipes their badges. I'm not there that much for that either. Over to the third one shows a chat. I'm there to monitor that chat. Usually there's nothing on the chat the whole 8 hours, or 6 hours, excuse me. I can work a day shift during the week, which is 7.5 hours, and not see anything on the chat. Because the chat I'm monitoring is somebody calling for help. One of the agents has somebody that called them that's either making threats against themselves, like suicide, or threats against, where they want to send a welfare check. They need to send the police or somebody to check on the person's welfare. I'm there looking for that kind of chat. And if I don't get that chat, which I've worked 2 Saturdays now, I hadn't got it. I've worked, I don't know how many other days, never got, every time that I've seen something on that chat, it's the wrong chat. They're asking a question that they need to be asking somebody else. I'm only there to help you get somebody help that needs help. That's only part of my job during the week, but on the Saturday, that's the only thing I do. I don't do any rounds. I don't do any badges. I don't do any of that. Because usually on Saturday, there's 2 people one other person I work with. And we're the only 2 that works for this company that's in there on Saturdays. He's there for about 2 hours. I'm there for 6. Now, he's not there for the chat. He's there doing some other stuff that he has to get done. And then if I need help during that 2 hours, he's there to help me. He actually works for the company. I'm a contract. I'm security. He's facilities. So I needed some help today, not with the chat, but for something else, because I didn't know how to do something. He came in and showed me how to do it. And so I now know how to do it. So I won't need his help again unless something really goes wrong. And that's only on, like I said, during the rest of the week, I change from post to post. The only post that really worries about that chat that gets people help is the main post. That's why I was saying that today for the whole 6 hours. But I'll start at the main post. I'll only be there for an hour. Then I'll go to a different post, be there for an hour. Then I'll go on rounds. Then I'll be back at the main post for an hour. Then, so we rotate in and out of there. So that's how we're doing. And I'm not sure if Abby's talking to you or Mike married to a beautiful woman, but Abby wants to know how your day's going. So go ahead and
It's going great.
Tell her what's going on, boss.
Yeah, I've had a pretty good day. It didn't snow. It was actually kind of nice.
How's
Ate
the
some
weather?
brownies.
How's the weather?
It's 37 degrees.
Yeah. We got up to 40 today. Felt like a tropical heat wave.
Yeah. It was supposed to snow, but it didn't.
We had snow yesterday, but it wasn't very much. They were calling for rain today for us, and we didn't get it. Not a lot. But tomorrow's supposed to be warm. I don't think it's supposed to be as warm as today, but it's still supposed to be in the 30s, but it's supposed to be sunny. So hopefully they're right on that. And if they are, that's when I'll do my laundry. I'd rather do it in that kind of weather. I had to, after work, I had to go by the dealership. I have an SUV. And you know how the SUVs have that back windshield wiper? Well,
Yeah.
mine came off yesterday when I was cleaning the snow off, and I couldn't get it back on. I could see how it was supposed to go on, but I couldn't get it on. So I left that part up and drove to work, and then from work I went to the dealership, not the dealership I bought the car from, but a competitor, same brand, but one's in Troy, one's in Colony, and I went to the one in Colony. I like them better. Abby, today was supposed to be a day off, but I worked it. My days off were supposed to be Saturday and Sunday, but I worked today. But I'm going to have Monday off because it's a holiday, and where I work at is shut down. So I will not be at work. So I'll have Sunday, Monday off. Then I'll be back in. I don't know if I'll work next Saturday or not, because like I said, Saturday I'm covered because we're short a person on day shift. We're short a guy on second, and he's coming back Tuesday. And if he wants Saturday, if we're still short, I'm going to let him have it because he had to be off. It wasn't his choice. He had to be off for over a week. So if he wants Saturday to help make up some of the money he lost, I'll let him do it. I'm doing it for extra money myself, but I can survive on what I get. It's been tough on me on the 25 hours, but now I'm up to 37 hours normal. So that's a lot of. Yeah, I mean, normally weekend days are off, but I worked this week, this Saturday and last Saturday. Just had Sundays off, but I'll have Monday off because it's a holiday. Here in the States, it's not only the inauguration day; it's Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King Day is a holiday recognized by many companies, not by everybody, but many companies. I think the federal government recognizes it, but
Yeah.
January 20th is the official inauguration day for the United States president. And just so happens it falls on Martin Luther King Day, but they're still going to have their inauguration. It also happens to fall on my mother's birthday. My mom's on January 20th.
No way.
Huh?
No way.
Yeah. She was born January 20th, 1926.
Wow.
Like I said, 99 years old this Monday. Hey, Megan, how you doing? Thank you for coming. And so, yeah, it's
a big day for you Monday.
Yeah, well, for my mom, I wish I could go to, but like I said, it's just she's in. You're in Fort Wayne, right?
Yeah.
Right. My mom's in Terre Haute.
Yeah, that's
All
about an
right.
hour or
I'm
so.
in just outside of Albany, New York.
Yeah.
Now that drive is not impossible for me. I can do that drive, but during the winter, you know what the weather can be like up around Lake Ontario, Lake Erie,
Yeah.
all that area there.
I know we're just about 30 minutes away. It changes drastically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I have to drive past Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, and all that to get back home. And unless I really want to go way south and over, and then but right now the south end is getting hit really bad with weather too. So, like I said, if I can, hey Minnie, how you doing? If I can next year, I want to go home for her 100th birthday if she's still alive. And my oldest sister was going to go home, but she decided not to because of the weather as well. She lives about halfway between Buffalo and Rochester, New York, which is about 4 hours from where I live. So I don't even go up to see her very often unless I know what the weather's going to be like.
Yeah.
Because she's right up there. Where she lives, she can get hit by Ontario or Erie, either one. She lives almost halfway, so it depends on which way the wind's blowing. Either one can snow her in. Or it may not give her any snow at all. It all depends on how it's blowing. I'm trying to remember the year. I can't remember the year. I want to say back around, it was around 2005, somewhere in there. yeah, somewhere around 2005. Went down to New Orleans. Took a friend and her family down. She went
And
down for a conference and some job interviews. And so we went down there. And while we were down there, Buffalo got hit with 7 foot of snow. Okay. So I called my sister to see how she was doing. She goes, "Oh, we didn't get any. We didn't get any snow at all." In Buffalo, it was on national news. It got 7 foot of snow in one snowstorm.
yeah, Rona's
And
here.
hey, Rhoda, how you
Hey,
doing?
Rona.
And so anyway, I leave. We drive back, and after we left, Louisiana got some ice storm. My friend lived in Erie, so we get back. Well, we stopped on our way back. We didn't drive straight to Erie. We stopped around Columbus. They got snow after we left, so it was behind us all the way back. We get to Erie, drop my friend and her family off. Uh, then I drive to. I was still living in Rochester area myself at the time. I drove back home. You go through Buffalo, you couldn't tell they got. You could see there was snow, but you couldn't tell it was 7 foot of snow they got. And they had all the roads cleared off. It was completely cleared up. And that same year, Rochester made the national news because they have I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but they used to have a winter festival downtown where they built up snow ramps and the kids could come down and play and play in the snow, and they did all kinds of stuff. Well, that year they didn't get any snow. They trucked it in from Buffalo for that 7 foot of snow. So they made the national news because they had to have snow trucked in for the Winter Snow Fest that very same year. And that was kind of funny. And they had dirty snow too. It was dirty. It wasn't the clean white stuff that you get, when it snows where you're at. You know what I'm saying? They had to scrape it up, put it on trucks, truck it down to Rochester and dump it. And so that was kind of funny. But yeah, like I said, I spent a lot of money I didn't have when I was younger. I'm talking even in my 50s. Because that was just 20 years ago. I was in my 50s. I went to China when I was in my 40s. I put that on a card. I always wanted to go, got a chance to go. I went for 3 weeks, all on card. But like I said, I've never filed for bankruptcy. I might have had to watch my money for a few years to pay off some stuff, but I always done that. And I've been in fairly serious debt three times in my life, and I've always dug my own way out. But this is the most money I've ever saved up in advance, so I'm in the best shape of my life as well now. A couple of years
That's
ago,
good.
not so much, but So now, where are you from originally, Mike? Are you from Fort Wayne originally?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
All right, that's where Ed was from.
Yeah, what part? Do you know?
I know he talked about Philly itself a lot. He lived somewhere around Philly and the Jamestown area. Both. He lived in a couple different areas.
Huh.
But where he's originally from, I'm pretty sure it was Pennsylvania. But I know he spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh. No, Philly. He spent a lot of time in Philly, and then he lived. I want to say it was outside of Jamestown for a while as well. But he used to talk about the Philly steaks and Philly itself, and the bread and all that stuff, the bakery stuff there. So I know he spent a lot of time there. And hey, Jaylene, how you doing? Thank you for coming.
Hello.
Jaylene says hi. Charmaine herself is here now. So Charmaine too. Charmaine's here. So welcome.
Hey, Charmaine.
Now, how's your daughter doing? I know you got a text from her. Is everything okay?
Yeah, she's getting off of work. She was just
Okay.
wondering when I was coming home.
Where's she at?
She's in Pennsylvania.
Oh, she's wanting to know when you're going back to visit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I understand that, but wintertime's kind of tough to travel.
Well, I got a good car to do it. I got a Subaru Outback.
I got a Subaru Crosstrack.
Yeah, that's the same car as mine, just a little smaller.
Yeah, I'd rather have the Forester myself, but I had to buy my car in 21. The chip shortage.
Oh
And
yeah.
I went and looked at a Forester. They didn't have a new one because my car was totaled, so I had to get a car fairly quickly. I couldn't wait a month or so on a car. And I looked at a Forester that was like 3 years old, low mileage. I'll give it that. I had low mileage under 21,000 miles for a 3-year-old car. That's low mileage. But
Yeah.
they wanted $3,000 less than a brand new one, with the exact same package.
But they offer you more warranty though?
Huh?
They offer you more warranty?
No, to
Toyota
me,
does that.
if it had been a year old, I'd have bought it. I
Because
might have bought it if it had been 2 years old.
Toyota will give you 100,000 mile warranty and stuff if it's
Yeah, but they give you
used.
what's left on it. They don't give it add it to 100,000. But the cross
Mhm.
track they had they had two that were brand new, but they were the premium package. That's why they were still on the lot. You know, they were they weren't the cheaper packages. This is you got all the bells and whistles, the rear view, uh, uh, cruise control, the better motor with uh, and you had the lane assist and all the bells and whistles, the heated seats, the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, so it wasn't cheap, but I thought if I'm going to overpay, I'm going to overpay for a new one. I've never owned a new car in my life. Wasn't planning on buying a new one then, but it's like, all right, it's time. I just buy a new one. And I would have had to wait a month for a Forester, for get a new
Oh,
Forester. And like I
yeah.
said, my car had been totaled. So I got T-boned. So my car was totaled. I didn't have a car. If I had a car, I would have waited the month for the Forester because that's what I wanted. But because it wasn't, I didn't have a month because I didn't have renter insurance on my insurance. I do now. It's only like $10 every 6 months. So I'll keep it because if anybody ever hits me again, I'll rent a car for as long as I need to. But I didn't have a 10, so I was paying for the rental car, and to go to and from work after I paid my rent. I mean, for the rental of the car, I made very little money. I don't even think I made enough money to pay for the gas.
Hmm.
You know, if I did, that was about it. So I was like, I can't afford to do this. You know, for a month. You know, I was using almost my whole paycheck to pay for the car.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
not good.
so it was like, no, I just took some vacation time, didn't go into work, gave the car up, and a friend helped me go around and look at cars, and I found the Subaru Crosstrack. And because every place I went to look, I looked at Toyota as well. Every place I went to look, the new cars, you had to wait and wait and wait. And the
Yeah.
used cars were just, to me, were so overpriced. I mean, the overpriced used car helped me out because
Yeah,
in
and
New
you get
York, when your
better
car is
interest
totaled
on
by
a new
somebody
one.
else, what I'm saying is when they total your car, somebody else totals your car,
Yeah.
it's not, how should I say this? The value of your car is the value of what it would cost you if you had to go to a dealer and replace it. All right. It's not
Yeah.
what they say the blue book is for your trade in, it's what it costs you to buy it, which adds more money to it. Your trade in is less money than what the dealers are going to sell it for. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got a higher amount of money back for my car, and I put that down on my a new car, which lowered my payment some because I put so much down. I would have put more down if I had it paid off. Even after I paid the car off, I still had almost 10 grand.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim, how you doing, man? But I did. I had almost 10 grand after they paid my car off.
Yeah, that's
That
nice.
was like 9,500 still left. And I just went ahead and put all that on the next car. And, but yeah, my car was almost paid off too, though. I had a couple more months payments and it was done. So it wasn't like it was a lot of money that I would have got over 10 grand if my car had been paid off. I probably would have got close to about $1,000, almost not quite, but almost $1,000 more than what I got. I got 9,500. So I would have got a little over 10 grand.
Yeah.
I don't even have any more tea made. I have to drink water. Here's what I got to drink. Wine, which is unopened, is over a year old. I got, not in 24, but in 23, I got it for Christmas. That's how old it is. It's never been opened. I got
Wine doesn't
milk.
go bad.
Huh?
Wine doesn't go bad.
Not that I know of, but I mean, it might if you open it. But it's never been opened, so I don't think it'll go bad on you. Wine will turn into, I think, vinegar eventually. But anyway, like I said, I got milk, I got water, and I got some very old juice that may be bad. I'd have to check, see how old that is. If it's not real old, I'll add some water to it and drink it. Drink that. I hadn't been drinking any of it. All my other juice is gone. I had some orange juice, but I drank all that. But yeah, I took my car into the shop today, even though it was raining. They went ahead and washed my car. And it didn't, and everything together cost me absolutely nothing. Well, for dinner, I was very bad and good at the same time. What I had was a lot of starch. I had, I knew what you meant, Abby. That's why I'm answering you. I had mac and cheese. Which, being that was the only thing I had, that was fairly good. I was thinking about how I got some chicken I had to cook up. All I had to do was nuke it, but I didn't feel like doing that. I just fixed mac and cheese, and that was it. I got some cereal I'll have tomorrow for breakfast, unless I get energetic and decide to fix myself some French toast. Yeah, Tim, I love mac and cheese, but it's a lot of starch, and for a diabetic, it's a lot of carbs.
Oh, you're
It was
diabetic
the only
too?
thing I had. I'm considered. I think I'm considered pre-diabetic. I may be diabetic. I'm on the lower end of diabetes. I am diabetic, I believe, but I don't have to take insulin. I have to watch what I take, and I have to take some medication, and I control my diabetes that way. My glucose or blood sugar is under 7, which is where they want it. So I'm doing quite well with that. And it would be better, but this time it was up almost to 7 this time. But because I hadn't been walking, that's why it was going back up. When you walk, you burn a lot of those calories off, and you help burn up that sugar. But I wasn't doing that, so I got to get back into it. Something I may have not told you guys. I've changed gyms. I joined a gym that has a swimming pool. And I did that because of my feet. Like I said, if I don't get my feet straightened out, walking being my only mode of exercise won't be good. Right now, I'm doing pretty good walking, but not a long stretch at one time. A couple thousand steps, and I'm doing all right. But that 10,000 steps at a time is kind of gone by the wayside for a while. But in the pool, you can work out. It's not as hard on your joints. They got a great pool. I'll see if I can get a video of that. I'm not going to be going there for a little bit because I got to get my work schedule all straightened out and my work-life schedule is a little different because I'm now working evenings where I used to always work days. So I'm still trying to get that worked out. I have to go in for a evaluation through this gym. They'll do an evaluation on the kind of shape I'm in and what I need to do. We'll talk that over uh, with a professional. So I'll take my weight. I still actually belong to both gyms. I have to go by the other gym and cancel my membership, although it just renewed. So I got a month before I got to do it. So I'll probably go in there and weigh myself again. The last time I weighed myself for you guys, I was at 285. When I was at the VA a couple of weeks ago, I was back up to 300 by their scale. So I'll do a video on that, let you know where I'm at, and I'll probably discuss it a little bit more about what's going on. If the gym that I'm going to will let me take a video of it, I hope they will. I'll take a video and show you the gym. They got a gorgeous pool. They got a part of the pool where the kids can play with slides and stuff. They got what they call a lazy river, which you go in, you can walk around it. It's got the like a current, so it gives you a little bit of resistance. I looked at another gym that was cheaper, but their pool was strictly a lap pool. Yeah, I had to sign up for the laps to get in there and do that. You do with this one as well for the laps, but the lazy river, I can just go in and use it whenever I'm there, which I like that ideal. This was the most expensive of the three gyms that I had to pool, but they had the best gym. They had not the best gym, they had the best pool. They got a really nice workout facility area. So, well, yeah, Tim, I know they're going to do an evaluation on me. It's around the start of February. They want to do an evaluation. Now, how often they're going to do it, I don't know. But I told us one of the things I want to work on is the street improvement. I want to work on my balance. If I get down on the floor to do anything, I got to have a chair or something around to get back up. I can't get myself up off the floor without help. I either got to have a chair or a person to help me up. And I want to get back to where I can start getting up off the floor by myself. Without that, I want to improve my balance because, as you all know, I want to move to the Philippines. So the better shape I'm in before I go, the easier it'll be to adjust to the climate change and the lifestyle. Because I'm going to do a lot more walking, hopefully over there than I am here, because I'm going to be retired. One of the things when I look for a place to live, I wanted to have a nice restaurant, a nice coffee shop, a nice mall that's within walking distance for me. In other words, 10 or 15 minutes away. I'm not going to have a personal trainer right now, Tim. That's a little more money than I want to spend at this moment. Although I can get one for a half an hour at a time, which they do have joint training things that you can join that are a lot cheaper. You go like so many times in 8 weeks or whatever. I'll probably join one of those things once I get their schedule and my schedule all figured out, how to work good with my schedule. And I'll start doing that kind of stuff. They do have the option of getting a personal trainer where it's strictly one-on-one. I may do that later. But right now, I want to slowly work into it. But like I said, I want to build up my strength. I hear strength training or lifting weights, but not heavy weights. I want, but you lift weights a certain way, it helps improve your tone of your muscles. It can also help with your bone density. I'm not worried about my density right now, but you never know. That could be a problem. I've not had it checked. Hey, Amira, welcome. And so just stuff I want to look at and try to improve. So when I do move, I mean, for my age, I guess I'm not in too bad a shape, except for this gut. And I do have arthritis in both my hands and all that good stuff. That's a 3, believe it or not. I have to go
Yeah,
like this to
Myra.
do a 3. So it's just, you know, certain things that I'm not going to be able to change, but let's change what we can. Well, not today, Abby. It's warm enough today that it rained. Tomorrow's supposed to be a decent day as well. Then Monday is supposed to start turning colder again with chance for snow again after Monday. So we're going right back into the cold for at least a few days. You start getting around February, especially around February, March area. Probably the same thing in Fort Wayne. Your weather starts going a little wacky. It's up and down, back and forth. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, like I said, I may have to get one myself. Uh, but right now, let's see what I can do on my own. Most of the stuff I want to do will probably be in the pool with maybe some light weights uh, to tone up the chest and arms a little bit. Spring arrives in March, late March, but you can be cold up until in the April. You can snow up until April. Like I said, this time of year, uh, it just fluctuates and can go up and down. Uh, that's one of the things I hate about winter and late fall and early spring. Uh, if you're going to be cold, get cold, stay cold. You can get adjusted. But this up and down, that's just not good for anybody. Uh, you can't get used to the weather if it's always changing. Like I said, today was up to 40 degrees. Now, to you guys, that's cold, but we didn't get above 30 for over a week or the high. It was in the 20s, our teens, for a couple of weeks. I mean, it was sometimes it was bitter for what we would call bitter cold. Uh, but like I said, today the low, when I got up and drove into work, it was already 30, I want to say 34. Might have been a little bit cooler. Might have been, but it was above freezing. Freezing's 32 when you go by Fahrenheit. You guys, 32 is 0 in Celsius. So it was above 32. And I want to say around 32 to 34. I want to say 34. And when I went home, it was 40. Like I said, that it was damp. It was the only reason it felt cool at all because it was damp. It was raining. But compared to the last week or two, it felt warm. Now, tomorrow is supposed to be sunny. I don't think it's supposed to be as warm, but it's still supposed to be in the upper 30s, which means I'll probably feel better tomorrow, even though it's cooler, because the sun will be out, hopefully. And then Monday's supposed to start dropping back down again for the next week or so. Uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to spring, but I'm looking forward to more like May than April or March. March is when it starts. But I don't know about bike, if you ever rode a bike or not. I'm talking motorcycle bike. I used to ride my bike in March, but back in Terre Haute because it'd be cold when you went into work. You go into work at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. When you got off, the sun would be out. It'd be 40s or 50s, and you just came out of the winter. So the 40s felt good. Plus, you'd be dressed for it. But in the fall, when it was in the 40s, you wouldn't get on that bike. You had all summer when it was hot. So now in the fall, when it started getting in the 40s, it was like, no, I'm not riding the bike today. It's too cold. It was amazing how your mind was if you're a bike rider. Now on the warm days, now I could ride my bike March through November. I couldn't ride it in December, January, or February. I had 3 months storage, 9 months riding is what I had insurance on my bike. And I rode a 750, what they called a 754. So a 750 FOUR. Honda made them for 3 years. I had a 74, 754. They later on changed it to just CB 750. But the reason why I called it 754 FOUR, it was one of the first 4-cylinder bikes. So the 4 was for the 4 cylinders, not the CC. That's why it was spelled out. And when I rode that bike, like I said, in March, I'd get on it. It was going to be the upper 30s. I'd ride the bike. But in February, it could be in the 40s and I wouldn't get on it. Like I said, well, you know how it is back in the Midwest.
Yeah.
July and August, it could be in the 90s, man, like the Philippines. You can get up in the 90s and humid, so you get used to that riding the bike. Well, September you can do it. October you can do it because it still wasn't down as cold. But you hit November and it started getting into the 30s and 40s for the highs. It was a lot harder to get on that bike that late in the year. Like I said, the spring after it'd been up all winter, you were ready to get back on it and get back to riding. And but I did know a guy that rode his bike all year round. I mean, he rode it all year round until he got married. And the reason for him riding it all year round was the only vehicle he owned. And he was a cook at a Denny's that I used to go to all the time. And he'd come in during the wheel, just a whistling. He'd have his battery in his hand. He wouldn't leave it on his bike. He'd bring it in and keep it warm, while he's at work for the 8 hours. And I heard him talking to somebody. He had to get rid of his bike because his girlfriend wasn't putting up with it during the winter. He had to get a car because he was getting married. She's like, no, that bike's got to go. We're not. And he said he couldn't afford to bike in a car, so he got the car. And so, but he did. I mean, I knew that guy for a couple of years. Both winters that I knew him before he got married, 2 or 3 winters before he got married, he rode that bike all year round. And he was always happy. He'd be back there cooking, and you could hear him singing and just having a good old time. But yeah. Abby says your dog is so big, Mike.
Oh, he's just got a big head. He's not that big.
He looks that big, buddy. You got to remember now, a lot of dogs in the Philippines are a lot smaller than that.
Yeah. He's not a lot of dogs.
Huh?
He's not a lot of dogs.
He's going to get bigger, will he?
What's that?
Will he get bigger?
Yeah. He's still 8 months old.
Yeah, he'll grow for a few more months. He's almost full grown, though. They grow what, for the first year or so?
Yeah. He's something else, though. I love him. He's such a good dog.
Yeah.
I can only count maybe a handful of things he's ever destroyed. And there's nothing major.
Yeah. Well, I lived with my younger brother for a long time. We shared a place. And he had 2 different styles of dogs. He had you remember the movie Benji?
Yeah.
He had a dog that was a Benji style dog, a mutt, but of terriers, the real thick fur. You cut his hair off during the summer, he'd go from about that big to about that big. I mean, less than half the size. It was all hair, but we'd cut it off for the summer so it'd be cooler on him. And we called him Spike. Now, Spike was energetic as all get out. He'd jump up whenever he wanted petted. He'd jump up my bed if I was laying there, trying to crawl under the covers. We're like, pet me, forcing his way under your arm so you'd have to pay attention to him. Wake you up, you wanted petted. Now, JD was a female, but she was a, I got to plug that in. That's getting low on charge. I didn't realize that. But she was a German Shepherd mix. Short-haired German Shepherd mix. And now she would come up and put her head on the bed and go like this. Pet me. She wouldn't jump in bed with you. She'd just start rolling her head back and forth like, come on, please pet me. Totally different. Love both of them. But yeah, JD name was Jackie Daniels. Well, Gary's friend found her when she was just a pup. Somebody turned her loose in a parking lot at a grocery store. And he called my brother because he knew my brother loved dogs, and we lost Spike. Spike was no longer. And somebody stole Spike. And so he called my brother and asked him if he wanted a dog. And Gary said, "Yeah, I'll take another dog." And he thought, "I'll name it Jack Daniels, right?" Well, then the dog gets there and he finds out it's a girl, so he named it Jackie Daniels instead of changing the name completely. And she had some gorgeous, gorgeous puppies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were a Malamute Shepherd mix.
I just had him fixed. The vet asked me if I wanted to breed him. I couldn't.
Yeah. Well, if you're breeding a male to a female, it wouldn't be so bad. I wouldn't want to breed a female. I'd rather be the stud, because then you're not taking. And what you normally get as a stud fee, if you want, you get your pick of the litter, or they give you so much money.
Well, I did get to pick the litter with him. I paid for it though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you bred him, then you would either get a pick of the litter, and then you can sell the pick, whatever you get, or they can pay you money. That's your stud fee. And then they sell the other dogs. Huh?
They own both the dogs.
But
mother and the father.
But like I said, though, my older brother took Dusty, and after he passed away, my mom took care of Dusty until he died. But we had this one dog. He was the biggest one of the litter, and he was a bully. He just plowed through the others. If he wanted petted, he'd just knock him out of the way and come over, let you know he wanted petted. Now, I named him Rowdy Yates after Clint Eastwood character from Rawhide. I named him Rowdy because he was rowdy all the time, always,
Yeah.
So I thought, well, Rowdy, and the last name will be Yates. Gorgeous, silver, silver dog with a white lightning bolt down his forehead. Absolute gorgeous dog. But one of our neighbors had cats, and when they dumped the cat litter, instead of dumping it into the trash can, there was no fence. We shared the property line. Matter of fact, my mom owned that land at the time, and it was written into some friends. They had there was a trailer. They put a trailer on it. And when they dumped the litter, a lot of it got on the ground. Instead of getting it cleaned up, they left it. Well, Rowdy got into it. Well, cats can carry Provo disease, which will kill a dog, and not necessarily kill a cat. And I don't know if they got a cure for it now or not, because this is well over 25 years, because I still live in Indiana. And they either live or they died, and he died the next day.
Oh, my.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. That dog would climb things to get in bed with me, to climb in bed with me and sleep with me. We put him outside in a fenced area with the other pups, because they were still young and we hadn't got them new homes yet. And he was always getting out. We're trying to figure out. We'd see an area like, let's put some bricks there, make sure he can't get out that way. And then one day I'm out there and I'm watching. He climbs the damn fence. He climbed up the fence and got out.
Yeah.
I've never seen a dog do that before. He was just a pup, but he climbed that fence and got out. Like I said, you couldn't keep him up because he'd get out. And he was an absolute gorgeous dog. I hated losing him. But that was the last dog. I haven't had one since.
Yeah, it's kind of a losing game with the animals and pets.
Well, yeah. Well, now for me now, I can't really have a pet. I can have a cat. I live in an apartment, so cats can do their business in a litter box. You can put out water and food. They can get to it when they want. So you can be gone all day. They'll be okay if they don't clog everything up. You give them stuff to play with, but you can't do that with a dog. You can't be gone 9-10 hours a day with a dog. You got to get home unless, like I said, unless you live in a house and you can put a doggy door in that they can go in and out when they want. Well, I live in
Well,
an
if you
apartment.
got
I
a
can't
small
do that.
dog, if you
I
got a
have to
small
take them out.
if you got a small dog, you can put the pee pads down. The
I'm not a
is
small dog. I'm not a small dog person. Like I said, Rowdy Yates was a short-haired shepherd Malamute mix. That's not a small dog. He's not super big, but he's not. That's the size. A friend of mine had a Malamute. Absolutely
Mhm.
loved that dog. Always, whenever I went over there, I was like I was his. You know, because she had 4 dogs, and uh, one of them was her dad's. Every time, because her dad lived with her, and but that was his dog. The other 2 were hers, and her mom and me kind of shared the one. But if I was there, he was with me. We'd take him for a walk. Like I said, this is just a good friend I've known for at that time for 20 some years. Known her for well over 35 years now. We're just good friends. That's all it is. So we never were lovers. When I met her, she was dating somebody I knew, and we became friends, and that's where we stayed. Uh, but when we take the dogs for a walk, we'd go. He, if I was going, he wanted to be in my car, not hers, going there and coming back. He wanted to ride with me. No, he'd be like, "No, Mom, I'm going with Larry." you know,
yeah.
he'd get in the car with me. The others wouldn't. They wanted to stay with her, but he was going to be with me. And but yeah, that was just like my brother's Jim's dog, Dusty. Uh, Jim took him all the time with him, until he passed away. But Jim always told me, even before he passes, yeah, he goes, he ever escapes. He says, just go out, open your car door. He'll get in, take him for a ride. He said, if you take him straight back home, he won't get in the next time. Just take him for a ride, for maybe 5-10 minutes. Let him have his head out the window. Then take him back home. And next time he escapes, do the same thing. He'll get right back in it because he loves riding the car. So you take him
Yeah.
for a 5-10 minute ride. He's happy. He said, that's how you catch him. When you see him, you open the door and say, let's go for a ride. He comes, jumps in and gets in the front seat. You close the door and go drive for a little bit. And Dusty was a tan and brown. Had the, how a shepherd's markings are.
Yeah.
Being black and white, they were tan and brown. The gorgeous dog there too. Actually, all of JD's puppies were very, very pretty dogs. One was a dark silver or dark gray. A friend of ours took that one. Like I said, we had the silver one with the white stripe we kept. Jim took Dusty. Uh, Jerry, who took the gray one, his brother Larry took one of them. They named him Bear. He was a big dog too. And I can't remember where the others went, but there was more than the 4. But we found them all homes. And Jerry's dog, he was at school, had him out on the porch. Somebody went up on the porch and stole the dog. It was
No.
another very pretty. Like I said, they were all pretty dogs, if you ask me. They were just a gorgeous color mix. And I'll never find another one like Rowdy though. Silver with a white lightning bolt right down the middle of his forehead. It was a trip. But I have had cats before. My last cat was a calico female. If it was a male, they're worth a lot of money. But female calicos are common. Layla, how you doing?
Hey, Leia.
Hang on, give me a
Leia.
minute, Layla. Let me give you a blue jacket, Layla. That's the first time I think I've seen you in here, but that's fine. But I call that cat retread because she was always underfoot. And a friend of mine in the Navy, she had a cat named Retread because it was always underfoot. I thought it was a good name. But Retread would climb up in the back of the chair and sit on my shoulder. And not a problem, Leela. If you want to advertise your channel, just type in. Here, I'll show you with mine. This is my ninja, so don't join this channel. Just type in 3Ls. And my channel, see right there, it tells you. It drops the information for you. So that goes for anybody. If you want to drop your, hey, Shane, I didn't see you come in. I'm busy talking, running my mouth like usual. And but just type in 3Ls. Tim will show you. They can be capital or small, doesn't matter. And there's Tim. Let's see. Charmaine should come up after Tim. They might be too close together. Charmaine, if yours doesn't pop up, go ahead and type in the 3Ls again. That might have just been too close together. And so I try to make it simple. Just type in 3Ls and it'll advertise you for you. But yeah, so now I don't want another pet. It's not because I don't like pets. It's because of the simple
you're going
fact.
to the Philippines.
Yeah. And once I get to the Philippines, I may get a pet. It depends on where I live. If I'm living in an apartment in the city, I'm not getting one. It's just that simple. If I decide to rent a house somewhere, I'll probably get one. So it all depends on where I decide to live. Like I said, I'm starting off in Cebu, so I won't have one in Cebu. And Charmaine, type into 3Ls again. Hey, Cindy, thank you for coming. Woo, Tim, that's sweet. Tim said his last video went viral. His video last week went viral. Over 52,000 in views.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sweet. He said in 7 days, in 1 weekend, over 52,000. Hey, Tim, I'm going to tell you something. I haven't had that in 700 days, okay? There you go, Charmaine. Let's just drop it now. There you go. See? But even small L's will still do it. Just you and Tim were too close together, and Tim beat you, so it dropped his. I did not realize it would do that. That would not drop both of you at the same time, but I think it should. But so anyway, that's what we, But yeah, I've had one that done over 5,000. I don't think I've had one larger than that. That's about the best I've had is 5,000.
You should drop that video, Tim. I'd watch it.
Well, just go to his channel.
Okay.
It's his name. It's his name, Tim Diziak. Now the guy that does the talking is not Tim. He has over 100 new subscribers. That's good, Tim. I can't believe how many I got this last month. I got over 100 myself, and I didn't have a viral video. But so something happened. I have no clue. But 160 new subs in one video, that is sweet, man. But like I said, Tim's got some good videos. Most of his are not real long, but they're very informative. He has some shorts, but he has regular videos. Charmaine does a good job. If Crystal's in here, her husband has some decent videos. Now, Dan does. And ABCM, LV, they all do. Like I said, I'm probably the smallest or one of the smallest vloggers in here. Which is fine. I mean, the ones that vlog, I'm probably about one of the smallest. Lorraine might be a little smaller than me, but not much. If she's still in here, but yeah. I know she's had people coming in from her live stream, giving us a rate at the start. But, man, I've been going that long. We've been going over 2 hours. Well, yeah, Tim, but a lot of times when YouTube pushes it, notice that people are you're getting a lot of likes.
Yeah, you're getting traction.
Yeah. And so then they start pushing it. Once you hit so many views in such a period of time, they will start pushing it. They'll push it sometimes even before then because they see something that they think is going to catch on. And I see, even like I said, Abby's larger than I am. If I'm reading, yeah, she got 1,750 subscribers. So I'm probably one of the smallest, if not the smallest, in here, but that's all right. I'm not trying to get too large, not right now. Like I said, I'm still working full time. I really don't want to get too large. I don't know if I want to get too large after I quit working and move to the Philippines. I know I will still do some blogging, especially when I move to the Philippines, because there's going to be so much stuff that's going to be new to me that I want to show.
Right.
Like I'll have to do a video of whatever apartment I decide to move into, or condo, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll have to do a video of my neighborhood, like I've done my. If you go back and check, you'll see me walking around my apartment complex. I've done a bunch of walking around my apartment complex when I first started vlogging, because that was something to show. I don't want to keep showing the same thing, so I don't do it as much anymore. I need to go by this one neighbor's place to see if they got their. They put up a different decoration out in the front for a lot of the different seasons. So I want to see if they got their Valentine's decoration up. So if they do, I'll get that video of that and get that up, because I do. I like holiday decorations. As you probably see that every year so far, I've done Christmas decorations. I've done some Halloween decoration videos, and I'll continue doing those. Yeah, I know. I need to start doing some shorts or videos, but I've been kind of lackadaisical here in the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I've kind of changed shifts. I'm still adjusting, but I do need to get out and start doing some more. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I got to do something. Like I said, Christmas and Halloween is such a great time to do, because like I said, I like those decorations. I like that. That's such a easy grab for me to do a couple of those every week. And excuse me a minute. I think I'm gonna have to sneeze. So I'm gonna stop my camera. And I'm gonna go
I
mute.
got you.
I'm gonna go mute so you can just keep talking.
Yeah. So, Abby, how you doing? Yeah, he's just sneezing.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
But so well, it's and Tim's right. I need to do at least one video every week. But like I said, I got to get adjusted to what I'm doing. Make sure I'm getting up in time to go do it. Abby says she's finishing her breakfast. What did you have for breakfast, Abby? Did you have one of my favorite Filipino breakfasts? Spam and rice with eggs. I did a video on that. I made my own. I know spam is a. Yeah, I did that the other day. Uh, I stayed up to about almost 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning watching a movie. I watched it's a war movie about the attack on Pearl Harbor, and it gives the side of the Japanese, what they're saying and doing, and the Americans at the same time. The movie called Tora, Tora, Tora.
I heard
Tora,
that.
Tora, Tora. Very good movie. And
Who's in that?
she had an egg sandwich with coffee. Well, I understand spam's expensive over there, but it's not as cheap here as it used to be. But I like spam. I've been eating spam since well, Abby, since before you were alive.
Yeah, they say in Hawaii that's
It is Hawaii and the Philippines both love spam.
yeah, they have to lock it up so people don't steal it.
But I'll tell you what, Abby. Now, when I'm over, once I move to the Philippines, if we're ever anywhere near each other, we'll get some spam and have a breakfast with spam and eggs and rice, and it'll be my treat. Whether we have to go to a restaurant or whatever we got to do, we'll do it. Because, like I said, I know it's a breakfast that a lot of Filipinos like. So I thought, well, let's try it. And I cut up some spam and fried it, fixed my rice, and cooked up a couple eggs, and it was very good. I did a video on it. I probably should do a little more cooking videos because it's the easiest thing for me to do. But I need to do some other things as well. One of the guys where I work at, actually, it's my boss in my own company. He's a security guard. He's the boss of the security guards. They found out that I'm a small time blogger, and he watched my video on my fixing the chili. And he didn't tell me this. One of the other guards told me. And he watched it. He said he wants that chili now. He's got to fix some chili like that. He really sounded good to him.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that to him yesterday. He goes, "Yeah, I did. I watched it. Yeah, looks like it'd be really good." I said, well, it was. As a matter of fact, I need to fix some more here pretty soon. I hadn't fixed any chili since that video. So here in the next week or two, I'll fix some chili. But I won't do another video showing me fixing chili again. It's just something I've already done, you know. But I'll figure out something I haven't fixed, and I'll do that. I've done stir fries, but there's different. Stir fry you can do more than once because you can do it different ways. You know, you can do it with spam, you can do it with a sausage, you can do it with or you can use a different kind of vegetables, or you can use noodles, and so you can do it a few different ways. So I can do it more than once. I can't do it a lot of times, but wow, I did not know that, Tim. Tim says at one time South Korea consumed more spam than the rest of the world combined. Wow, that's interesting. And Mike, that post that up there under says HT, that might be his.
Yeah, it's viral video.
That might be that viral video.
I can't hit it and just play it though, like normally.
Well, you can hit it and put it on pause. See, I already subscribed to Tim, so I go in and check these videos out. I watch all of them, but I may be behind on some. But once I get there, I'll watch the ones I missed and catch up.
Okay, I copied it. So I can put it later.
There you go. That's why I said, you just that way you go check it out later, and if you like Tim's channel, you can subscribe.
I know I'm subscribed to him.
Huh?
I'm already subscribed to him.
Okay. Eileen's back. Hello, Eileen. ABC's sending some ratings now. And so we're almost at 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Wow.
So yeah, like I said, I am a talker. I won't lie about it. Now, Mike, the other Mike, is probably gone talking to his wife, because he talks to her so close to this time of day, and and he's going to be going over to the Philippines here. I want to say March. to visit his wife and family over there. Yeah, Jim, when I was in the service, people would buy Spam and keep it in their locker or in their door or their room, because there would be times that you decide you didn't want what they had at the mess hall, the chow hall, depending on what branch you're in, what you call it. Uh, we called it the mess. I think you guys called it the chow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always had Spam in my locker on base, especially because sometimes you're just getting busy and it's like, oh man, not enough time to go, or you just feel like a snack. Well, you can eat Spam without cooking it. It's like people like Vienna sausages for the same thing. I used to eat Vienna sausage, but I just don't care for the Vienna sausage that much. So me and my roommate, we'd had a refrigerator. Matter of fact, when I was on show duty, I think everybody had a refrigerator. So you'd have. Now we have cold beer, cold pop, because we were allowed to drink on base. As long as you were off duty, and we were both of the drinking age at that time. We were both well over 21, and but you had other stuff in there. Yeah, like I said, you had we had canned Spam and Vienna sausages, and one of my buddies on base was a cook, and sometimes he'd bring a pie to the room, so we'd have pie. I remember one. I want to say it was Christmas. We had a big old party in my room. Like I said, Tom, he brought in the pie. We had ham. We had all kinds of stuff. Yeah, $5 in the Philippines is a lot of money for a can of Spam. That's about what it costs here, but it's not as expensive for us as it is for you. But that's still expensive for a can of Spam, if you ask me. I can remember getting it for under $3 a can, but it's still around $3. It's less than $5, I think, here. I buy a pack of 6 at a time, so I'd have to. It's been a while since I bought just one can. It's cheaper when I buy the 6 because I can get it through one of those discount. Hey, Pamela, I think the way Evie pronounces it, Pamela. How you doing?
I call her.
Huh?
Pamela.
Pamela is the way Evie pronounces it, so we'll go with that.
I do it too.
Well, see, all the women I know that spell their name that way here in the States pronounces it Pamela. But Pamela is fine with me. It's her name. That's the way they pronounce it. That's the way I'll try to pronounce that way. So how you doing, Pamela? I hope you're doing well. I don't know how much longer I'm going. I've been almost 2.5 hours. You just said hi to you, Mike. But yeah, it's well, but like I said, we had a big old party. The door was open. Now, my roommate was black. I'm white, as you can tell. So we were known as Salt and Pepper, or the odd couple. If you remember the old TV show, The Odd Couple. And we were the odd couple, not only because we were black and white, but because he was always fastidiously dressed. He was clean cut, well dressed, liked everything, straightened up. And me, I dressed like a slob. I wore sleeveless shirts with collars, So I was more of the Oscar Madison, and he was more of the Felix Unger, or however they pronounce it. I want to say Unger. And all right, Tim, take care, man. We'll talk to you some other time. Welcome back, Crystal.
See you, Tim.
And so we were known as the Odd Couple. Now we had Three's Company. They lived in a trailer. There was 2 girls and a guy. Tom, my buddy that was a cook, him and 2 girls shared a place. So they were Three's Company. We were the Odd Couple. And then there was what was it? Can't remember the other group, but so yeah, but we lived on base, James and myself, and we both liked the old music from the 50s and 60s, and so we played that music, and we had a comfortable chair, a couple comfortable chairs and stuff in there, TV, our whatever uh, dignitaries. And when I say dignitaries, I don't mean like senators and stuff like that. I mean captains and admirals would come to the base. You know, the military up the ups would come to the base. Uh, they would go around and show them rooms. Our room was one of the rooms they always showed. That's because James had some, and that was his furniture. It wasn't mine. He had been on show duty in the Philippines for a year or two, and he was here stationed at the base I was at, and we were roomed together, and we kept the room clean. I mean, because that Jim wanted to clean. He cleaned everything but the head. I cleaned the head, the sink, the stool, the shower. He says, I'll clean everything else because it was his stuff. He says, if you'll clean that. So every week we had a cleaning day. We just clean everything. And so if we knew the dignitaries were coming, like I said, captains, commanders, those kind of people, because we were a base of 110 people. So our base commander was probably our base captain, or whatever you want to call him, was probably like a lieutenant commander, you know.
Yeah.
Commanders and above are higher than him. He might have been a commander. The XO, which is the second in charge, might have been a lieutenant commander, but they weren't real high, So you had a lot of people coming in higher than them who come on base to visit, and most of them had to be escorted. They couldn't come on base by themselves because you had to have a clearance just to get on base. All right, by yourself. That's one of the reasons I was able to be stationed there. I had a clearance. Now, to go into where the work was done by yourself, you had to have a secret clearance. They were going to upgrade me to secret, but I got out of the Navy. If I'd have stayed in, I would have had a secret clearance. But even then, there were certain rooms I would have been able to go into because you had to have top secret. But to get into the building, they wanted to give me a secret clearance so I wouldn't have to be escorted because I had to go into the building to do my job. So they always had to send somebody with me because I didn't have a secret clearance. So they were talking about bumping me up, but I got out. But like I said, these guys would come on and they'd show them the work. And like I said, it was top secret. They couldn't go in there. And in secret, certain areas they couldn't go in there unless they had the clearance. And they'd take them around and show them the different kind of berthing units. Like there were some that their first classes had, some of the chiefs, if they didn't have their wives with them and didn't want to live off base, they'd have their own. These first classes and chiefs would have a room all to themselves. They didn't have to share it. So they'd see what a single person would have, and then they come down and our room was 2 people. Now, I don't think it was more than 2 people. They'd come down and show our room because they knew it was always, like I said, James kept it immaculate. And it was always, it was such a decorated room. It was such a, how you have a home designer. It was like really like a designer did it, but it was just his stuff and put together really nice. And then there was a room that they would show that if you lived off base and had duty and you had to stay on base, that you had to share with other people. It wasn't your room, but here it is. This is what this looks like. And so they'd always show them that kind of stuff. Like I said, I found out later that the master of arms of the barracks told us our room was always the room that he would show. They just wanted to see one double occupied room. And they would always show our room because it was always so nice, And like I said, it wasn't me. That was my roommate. that was his stuff that made it look so sweet, you know.
Yeah.
But like I said, though, we threw parties in there, and we just leave the door open. People come in and go out, back and forth, and all around. You know, if we were partying, we didn't care. You know, leave the door open. We weren't doing anything that wasn't legal. So people just walk in for a while and sit down, listen to music, have a few drinks, and go off and do what they wanted to do. Then maybe come back and maybe go get themselves another beer because most of the time you provided your own drinks, but we had the music and we'd have, like I said, with Tom there, we had food. On the holidays, he'd read the thing and we'd have ham and pies and stuff like that. So we had a pretty good. Jim decided later on he moved off base and got himself a place off base and by himself, lived by himself. But it was, it was a great place. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, that was, man, that'd been years ago. Over 40 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Around 45 years ago.
We had beer and pop machines.
Oh, we did. I'll tell you how old the pop machine was. Up in the cruise lounge, we had a pool hall, pool table, TV and stuff, and an old Coke machine that we used as a beer machine. Now, the beer was 50 cents a can. And I think you could only charge 35 cents on that machine. That's how old it was. So what we did, we made it a quarter, okay? So it was a quarter can, but we put an empty and a full. So everybody knew you were buying an empty with the first quarter, but the second quarter, you got the full beer. So you were paying the 50-cent price, which is what we were charging, but you had to buy an empty can and get a full can. And once in a while, I was the one that did it, but once in a while, either somebody would buy an empty and didn't have the money to buy the full, and you get a full one for a quarter, or I put it in out of order, and you got one for a full one for a quarter, instead of 50 cents. But that was always nice when that happened. Except for if I came up too short, I had to make it up. So believe me, I try to watch that. Because like I said, that was one of my jobs was vending machines. When I was in the Navy, I was a barber. They sent me to barber school back in '73 for the Navy barber school. So I was a barber. On ship, I was a barber, a laundryman, a store, the candy store. I ran the candy store, worked in the box store rooms, and helped out in the regular store, the Navy Exchange on ship. Now, I didn't run the one on the ship, but I would help out. Now, normally I had just one job on ship. It was either one of those jobs that I mentioned. If I was running the storeroom, then everybody that needed supplies would have to give me a form requesting the supplies, what they wanted. I'd have to check and make sure I had it, remove it from my inventory, and show that I gave it to them. So I had that paperwork I had to do, and I had to keep track of all the stuff. I had the candy, the pop, cigarettes. When I had storerooms, I had all of it. Paper supplies, stuff that you would buy that the Navy didn't give you. That's the storeroom I ran. Then if I ran the candy store, then I was up there. I had to keep track of my sales, submit the request to replace the candy I sold, get it, show it in there, and it'll be shown that I had it. I had to keep track of the money, turn the money in every day. And every so often, we'd take an inventory, and I couldn't be more than, I think, 1% off, something like that. I was almost never off because I really keep track of my money. And then I worked as a barber for a few months on ship. I also worked in the laundry when I first went into that division before I went to barber school. I did that. Then when I went to shore duty, I did 4 different jobs every day. I'd start off in the Navy Exchange. Raquel, too. Hello. I start off in the Navy Exchange every day, helping them stock their shelves. And Then I'd go from there. I'd do all the vending machines. I'd fill up all the vending machines. Then I'd go to the gas station, open it up during the lunch for most of everybody's lunch break but mine. I had my lunch a little different, but I was only open like an hour and a half. And their lunch was like 2 hours. But everybody knew that I was only open from this time to that time. And that was it at the gas station, Monday through Friday. So if you want, like I said, it was a base of 110 people. So now the retired people would come in and buy gas too, but they knew the hours. So they'd come in and get their gas or oil or whatever they needed. And then I would close that down. Like I said, I'd have my lunch. I don't remember if it was before or after. I want to say it was before. Then I'd go to the barber shop, open the barber shop until the end of the workday. Now, the nice thing about ending up at the barber shop, when I close the barber shop, I walk right across the hall, walk right into the Navy Club and get myself a cold beer. But that was my work day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I did 4 different jobs every day. So, you never really got a chance to get bored at any one of the jobs. It's just about the time you were going to get bored, it was time to change jobs again.
Yeah.
And, but like I said, because of the vending machines, I had to go in that building that you had to have a secret clearance to go in by yourself. You had to have a clearance just to be on base, which I had, but I didn't have a secret, so I had to be escorted when I went into that building. And one of the things they told you when you got stationed there, they said, well, people are going to be curious about the thing, and that's fine. But if it seems like they're really pressuring you for information about what's going on, tell us, because there could be people trying to find out if there's things. What we used to tell people, and I told, and it's always in a joke, and most people just took it that way and left it alone. We told them we were a secret submarine base, that there was a tunnel, a cave there was a tunnel that would take the subs underneath the ocean floor, underneath the base where they could pop up, and nobody would know they were there or who they were. We were there for submarines. We were a secret submarine base. And most people would just drop it. It was like, so, I can't, and I honestly couldn't tell them what they did because the work was done by the people that had secret and top secret clearances. What they were doing, I didn't have the clearance to know. That was not my job. And so, we just made up I was told that was a story that a lot of people made that said. So when people asked me, that's what I told them. And like I said, most people just, really? No, man, but I can't tell you what's going on. And they drop it, And now, if you're a John Wayne fan, he made a movie, and I want to call it, was it McHugh? He was supposed to be a Seattle cop. And they have, he drove, I want to say it was a green Mustang. It could have been it was a green sports car. And
Bullet.
Huh? No, not Bullet. No, I said John Wayne.
Oh, John Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne. He was a Seattle cop. Bullet was in San Francisco, I believe.
Yeah.
But he was a Seattle cop, and his partner somehow got messed up with some drugs, or somebody was setting his partner up, and they, I think they hid the drugs in his car. Or no, they was hid the drugs somewhere else. And his partner's wife asked John Wayne to help her out with something, and he found out what was going on. And so they're traveling down south towards Portland. My base, my naval base, the land base, naval station I was at, was about halfway between Seattle and Portland on 101 highway. All right. It was like, if you moved it 5 miles one way or the other, I can't remember which, it would put it almost dead center between the two. It's like it was 100 miles from one, about 110 from the other.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're going down the highway, and he's figuring out what's going on. So he starts tossing her luggage out because the drugs is in one of the luggages. And she finally breaks down, tells him. And so, but they get to this underpass, a railroad underpass, just trestle, and they go under the underpass, go into a beach. My base overlooked that beach. All right, that railroad trestle was at the very end of our base. Now, there's no way he drove that car on there if they hadn't prepared for it. Because to get in there, usually you had to drive through a lot of sand. They cleaned that sand out so his car could drive on there. I had friends that had four-wheel drives, and they'd have to put it in four-wheel drive to get through there.
Huh.
But they cleaned the sand out so he could drive his car on. And at the other end of the base, it's kind of level, and you're not driving underneath anything. So you get a more dramatic effect driving underneath that railroad trestle. And then they have this big old beach scene chase, and they're shooting machine guns at him and everything. At the end of it, they walk up to this bar. Well, that bar I've been to once. I walked. This happened about 2 years before I was stationed there. They were still talking about it. Like I said, it's a town of about 500 people. They're going to talk about that for years, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like San Diego or LA, you know, where the stuff's common. But so anyway, I walk up the street one day on my time off, and I get to that bar, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go in and get a drink. You know, I wasn't even sure if I was going to get a Coke or a drink. I was just going to walk in and get something because it was a mile or two up the road. And it's broad daylight. I mean, it's around lunchtime, if that. I go walking in, and Abby says she's at the store, still listening. Yeah. But anyway, I go walking in the bar, and this guy jumps up and wants to fight. And Native American. There's a Indian reservation a couple miles from there. And so I just turn around, walk back. I was like, I'm not staying. I don't need to be fighting. And I have two guys come out right behind me. I thought, oh, God, I'm going to get in a fight here in the parking lot, and I'm trying to stay out of it. And they came out to apologize. They said, hey, look, man, sorry about that. He's drunk. He likes to fight when he drinks, and you're the only person in the bar he didn't know. So that's why he was trying to pick a fight with you. You're the only person he didn't know. I said, that's all right. I'll never be back. You know, I don't need this kind of hassle. Now, these were young guys. Now, a couple older guys came on base. We had a ball diamond, and there was a softball club. I don't know if it was a club or it was a league of some type, whether it was religious or school or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was for teenage girls. And they're playing on a Saturday, and I come walking out. I got a Coke. I'm just drinking a regular Coke. It's early afternoon. I thought, day off. I'll go out and watch them play some ball, you know. So I get out there, and there's a couple of older guys. Now, the whole team that they're there with is Native Americans. So I don't know if it's their daughters or granddaughters, but they were older. I won't say it was their daughters. I don't think they were that old. So they were there rooting their daughters on. And I come walking out with a Coke, and one of them looks at me and says, you got more of those? I said, yeah, I'll be right back. I'll go get some. I'll bring some glasses. I get back out there, and they got some Kessler, some rum. So we're sitting there drinking Kessler and Coke. I didn't even know they were going to give me Kessler, you know. They just wanted something to mix the drink with. So we're sitting there drinking, watching the ball game, and they're telling me they're there, you know, supporting the girls and what was going on. And we got to talking. And one of them said, well, hey, look, he said, if we ever come by, you know, because they didn't like going to that bar either because the young guys, you know, would get a lot. They just wanted a quiet night out. So if we come by, he said, you mind checking us into the base to the club? I said, nah. I told him my name. I said, just let them know that you're here. And if I'm not on duty, I'll come in, sign you in, take you to the club. They'd show up. They'd bring in smoked salmon, clams, whatever they felt like. Come in, sit down, have a few drinks, talk with everybody, and after an hour or two, say thanks and take off. They just wanted a nice, quiet place to have a drink or two. And being they lived on the reservation, they could hunt and fish all they wanted. There's no hunting fishing season on base.
Yeah, no limit.
Yeah. Well, there's no season. They can do it all year round.
Yeah.
Let them fish whatever they want, as long as they're on base. I mean, on the reservation. And so, like I said, they'd bring in smoked salmon and that kind of stuff that they'd catch and stuff like that. Just set it there. Anybody wanted some could have it. And it was just their way of saying thanks for letting us come in and enjoy a quiet evening. I didn't care if they brought it or not, because I don't eat fish. So it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I just thought they were nice guys. What the heck? You want a quiet night? I like quiet nights. I'll let you come in. And like I said, they come in maybe once or twice a month. That was about it. Just quiet night once in a while, the two of them. So, but yeah, but like I said, we were on a base of only about 110 people. We were stationed in a town that was only about 500 people. You had I told you about the one bar where a lot of the Native Americans went. Well, in town there was a lot of loggers. So you had a lot. I got to town. I got stationed there on I want to say Tuesday, if I remember right. It might have been a Monday. But by that Friday, there had been a shooting in one bar and a stabbing in another. I didn't go out to the bars very often. Till one of the guys that I was serving with bought one of the bars before, because he was going to retire there. So he bought the bar to save himself up for his retirement. And so I started going to that bar because I knew he would keep a lid on things, If you started causing trouble, I knew he'd kick people out. So that became my bar once he bought it. But like I said, the other bars I didn't know. And it's like, nah, you're going to have that kind of stuff going on in a small town like this. I don't need that hassle,
Yeah.
And, well, 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I'm going to end it because it doesn't look like many people are making comments now. Abby just gave us the hands with a heart.
That's cool.
Yellow hands with the red heart. Thank you, Abby. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end it. It's going on almost 10 o'clock at night here. So I'm going to go sit down and relax for a little bit before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I got to finish making up my bed, but that's not going to be hard. Just put the pillowcases on the pillows and toss the top sheet out because I don't use a blanket. I very rarely ever use a blanket. So my last girlfriend, that's all she wanted was blankets. It's been a few years since I lived with someone, but I've never been married. I have no children, just to let everybody know. No baggage.
Yeah.
But so yeah. But yeah, it just like I said, there's places I want to go and things I want to do, but I got to save the money up first.
I hear you.
I got enough money if I had to go right now. I could set myself up, but I wouldn't have an emergency fund. I wouldn't have a return fund if something went wrong. Because all I got right now would take everything I have just to get myself set up.
Yeah.
And I need to spend some of that money on some other stuff to get done before I go. So it's not that good of a start because about half of it I'm going to have to spend on other things. I need some dental work done. I can't wait till I go there. And that's not going to be cheap. I got a tooth I got to have cut out. And that's going to be $1,000 to $2,000 or more. So like I said, I have cash. I have that in cash, and I got more than that. But like I said, after I get done with, hey, Crazy, how you doing, man? Crazy Kid happens to be a comedian. He does a lot of reaction videos to songs as well. He hasn't been here for a while. He's a Canadian.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's also an author. I have a couple of his books. But yeah, it's been a while since Crazy's been in here. Well, Crazy, I'm just getting ready to shut down, buddy. I've been going for 2 hours and almost 50 minutes. So I'm thinking about closing it down and getting ready to relax for a little bit before going to bed. I probably won't get to bed till about midnight, but I like to relax for a while and let everything just wind down before I do that. He said, "Yeah, I'm a jack of some trades and master of none. I'm a jack of no trades and a master of none." I had my rear windshield wiper on my Subaru came off yesterday when I was cleaning the car, and I couldn't get it back on. I could see how it was supposed to go on, but I couldn't get it in. So I had to go by the dealership today after I got off work, and even the guy that did it for me had trouble getting it in. Because I wasn't sure if I just didn't have enough strength or some part was. He says, "No," he says, "it's just tough to get it in there." So he finally got it in, and even though it was raining, he at the time it wasn't raining; it had sprinkled a little bit. They went ahead and washed my car for me, and it needed it. I was going to go to the car wash and get it done, but they did that. I didn't pay anything. Didn't pay anything to have the wiper put back on. Didn't pay anything for the car wash. That was free. So yeah, Harry, crazy. I wish I had a girlfriend back when I was in the Navy in San Diego, and a little Filipino girl, about 4'10", 90 nothing, about 90 pounds, soaking wet. And we'd shoot pool, and she'd try to hike her leg up there by the pocket to distract me, and I just nail the ball right in. I said, "That's it. Put some air around it, and I'll never miss it." So she quit doing that. But what can I say? But like I said, Connie, man, I hadn't thought of her in a while. You're like 4'10", about 90 pounds, soaking wet. But yeah, that's back when I was 21, 22 years old. Long, long time ago. I was about 22 at the time. So yeah, very long time ago. All right, everybody. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down.
All righty.
And thank you for coming. Thank you for the thumbs up. We'll do this again next week. And same bad time, same bad station, same crazy person. So it'll be about 7 o'clock Eastern time. So anyway, y'all take care. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. Be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. All right. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Good night.